All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another DC World Collide video. This is Mr. Squirrel, as always. Glad to have you here. So, let's just get to it. What is this video? I'm making a top 10 characters in the game tier list. Now, I know I've said in the past, be careful of tier lists. I've been really kind of sitting with this idea of what characters, when I see them in PvP or in PvE, or I have them on my team or whatever, I'm like, yeah, I've got them. Or, oh my God, this character actually scares me. Or it's going to be a pain in the butt to deal with them. And I was like, I want to just establish who I think are the best characters when I get that feeling, like, ooh, or like, ugh. Who gives me that feeling? And more importantly, why do I get that feeling when I play against or with or whatever, right? And I want to start by saying this list is completely subjective. It's based on my own opinion. And I'm also considering these characters based on their best teams. So I really want to establish that now. I am considering these characters based on their best in slot teams. And so it's really important to note that when considering these characters, because it's important to acknowledge that I think if we consider these characters in isolation, it would be very different list. But when we consider it in the context of the game and the teams that we have, you cannot the teams need to be accounted for. What I mean by teams is like the leader synergy that they're under can legitimately change a character. It can make a character broken or it can just make them okay. And so I'm considering these characters when I talk about the character, I'm going to talk about what team I consider them on as their best in slot, because that will be determinant of their position. Secondly, I'm doing this now pre-buffs because I don't want the buffs, because it's going to take time to test the buffs. That's going to be its own separate thing. I want to do this at the beginning of the month, and I will do it reevaluated towards the end after we've tested the new characters. There's going to be so many variables coming into play that I need to factor all that stuff in. And it's just, I like trying to think about all the buffs and all these things. I was like, do I make this video at the end of the month? Do I make this at the beginning of the month? And I'm like, I think it feels like relatively like the meta is stable right now. And it'd be a good place to just do a video, and then I can update it later. And I'm going to do a team video later in the month after we get Judo Master. I need to see Judo Master in action before I make a team synergy video. I have a feeling I know what's going to happen. But regardless, I can't make the video if I haven't seen it in action. That's just the reality of it all. Okay, so let's get started. Who is number 10? I'm gonna do this really quickly. I do want to make a quick honorable mention. Lex Luthor is actually 11 for me. I'm just gonna say he's at 11 as an honorable mention. I think he's a really good tank. I think he brings a team synergy into the game, but at the same time, I don't think he's breaking the game, or he's as good as he was in the earlier game when you needed a little bit more survivability in the form of those shields. I think his leader skill really it's good. It's very general, but he does struggle a little bit. Like, he needs a better team. And I think if we see like a shield team pop up in terms of maybe some like lanterns or something in the near future, he will probably resurge very prominently, but we need to see that in action. Okay, so let's get started with who's number 10. Peacemaker. I think Peacemaker, the newest character in DC Worlds Collide, is ranked 10. I think, again, people are going to be like, but you keep hating on him. I never hated on him. I'm just saying I don't think he's like a meta-changing character, but I think he's also a very good character. He brings a lot in terms of the shelter buffs at the end of every round. While I don't like his 50-50 mechanic, he does have a 100% crit reduction. And he doesn't take physical damage pretty much. As long as his thing procs, he's not taking physical damage. That makes him very much a pain in the butt to deal with, especially as a main tank. Or as just a tank, as like a tank. He can be very annoying. Now, I think a lot of his stuff is very conditional. And I'm going to say this. He probably will go up more when I make this video again, once we get Judo Master's team. I think he might go up. Maybe he changes. I don't know. We need to see what that team synergy does to him. I will say this: I don't like tanks that aren't. He does quite a bit in terms of sustainability, but his he's very damage focused. If his ult was not a damage focused ult and it was like a sustained ult, he'd be perfect. I would have told people to summon in a heartbeat. But because his ult is just about damage, and to me, if he was just, his job was to have Eagly apply a ton of fragile and, armor break, and then his ult also does some form of sustain, like maybe it gives the team superpower damage sustain or something. I don't know. I would have told people, summon right now. You need to summon. He's amazing. But he's not like that, unfortunately. So, for me, he's rank 10. At rank 9, we got what I consider pretty much the best off tank in the game, Blue Beetle, on specifically the block team. I think overall, and I didn't mention right now for Peacemaker, I'm running him on, if I had him, I don't have him. Where I've seen him most commonly run is going to be on the AoE team with Green Arrow, because he has an AoE ult. That AoE ult can silence. That's where I'm thinking. Rank 9, Blue Beetle. Let's come back to Blue Beetle. Blue Beetle on the block team is, I would say, the best off tank in the game. He is giving your backline so much damage reduction, so much sustainability because of the damage reduction, the crit reduction. He is doing so much for that backline. He himself, though, has a slight issue with he needs to build up. He can get murked early. So take note of that. He is not that strong early in the fight. Once he starts getting hit a lot, though, just note he will become very tanky. He gets 20% added block. He can become very problematic as the game goes on, but he can get taken out early. So just take note of that. He can get taken out early in the fight. He's not a good main tank because he'll get murked too quickly. But once he's built up, he can sustain out for quite a bit. He's very good as a main tank as the game goes on. Overall, great character, but just needs to build up. But on the block team, you have other tanks that can take that slot, and he's doing phenomenal stuff. So he comes in at rank 9. All right, rank 8. Now, I know I'm going to get slack for this one. I know people are not going to like my list because of where I'm putting them. But for me, it's Wonder Woman is rank 8. Again, this is in the context of the teams, the best in slot teams. I hold that Mr. T and Block are the two best teams in the game, with Arrow's team coming in at 3rd. It is a very good team, but it is not doing what Block and Mr. T are doing. It's just not. It's not doing that kind of insanity. Mr. T turns your team into a steroid, and Block makes it so your team just never dies. They're the inverse of each other to a certain extent. Mr. T makes your team a steroid. Block makes your team almost indestructible. And she works on Block. She does. She works on Block. But I run into an issue with Wonder Woman. I think in chapters 1 to 30, her damage is phenomenal. I've noticed, though, as I've started pushing the damage past into the 30s now, she runs into an issue. You know what that issue is? Her ult. Her ult being a just single flat one-time damage that with her whatchamacallit, lasso artifact, does a lot of damage and can kill tons of enemies. But then you're left with the boss. And her ult ain't doing a lot to bosses, even to green bosses. I just don't. That AoE flat one-time damage AoE isn't doing that much. Her lasso is very powerful, especially if it crits, because then it will silence. But I've just found that in a single target scenario, her damage falls off in a way that the characters higher on this list don't. But in full AoEs, very good. But the thing is, there's still a boss left on almost every big level. And she really struggles to bring them down in many cases, in comparison to other DPS. That I'm not saying she's bad. I'm just saying because her ult's not doing as much, it struggles in single target situations or few target situations. She isn't doing the same thing, right? And she doesn't have access to these insano teams. And so being at rank 8 with all of that, I think is a testament to her. I think in a vacuum, she has one of the best kits in the game. When we consider actual the context of the best teams and all these different things, I think she does not fall high on the tier list. She's in the top 10, guys. So just take note. I know I'm just saying she is one of the best characters in the game. Just FYI. But in relation to the teams that are amazing right now and where she sits with them, she's only partially on the Mr. T team. She does work on the block team. She does. But that team I found really needed some help with single target when the main DPS, because they just, when they got to the boss, they were struggling. And I was like, I need more single target. So with that in mind, her AoE team is the best team she is on. And she's very good on that team. But that brings up the inverse of her, which is Deathstroke. I didn't think Deathstroke is actually the inverse of her, where he is all single target and does kind of struggle a little bit in AoE situations. But again, he's really good at getting bosses down, and he's bleeding left and right. He's getting characters to bleed, and you won't see him doing some insane damage. You actually see it when the bleeds proc. He's useful on many teams. I think block is his best team. Bleed right now isn't a team. We don't really have what is necessary for the bleed team. Who knows? Maybe with the Vixen buffs, it's going to go Hamtaro. Who knows? That'd be great if it did. But I just don't think he is I would say, he's one of the best characters, in the game. And he's very good at what he does. I love I am so glad I have him on my block team. He's ranked 7. I think he is just doing so much amazing damage. But I will say this. What is he bringing to your team? Damage. What is Wonder Woman bringing to your team? Now, here's the thing with Wonder Woman, though. She's bringing damage, but not as much. That's because it's compensated because she can stun and she can silence. But those are contingent on her critting. So she's in a weird place where she wants to crit. I know this is about Deathstroke right now, but she wants to crit. But her artifact wants her to have a ton of attack so she can just kill everybody really quickly. It's a weird little dynamic, just saying. But with Deathstroke, it's like I don't find him doing as much damage out the gate. But when you're starting to get those bleeds just sitting on the team, and it's just like, oh my God, watching like characters lose once they take their turn, it's just like, oh, and there goes like 20% of your HP. It is fun to watch that. I have him on a bleed base build where it's just tons of attack, and he does his job very well. Phenomenal character, one of the best characters in the game. And overall, you can't go wrong with investing in any one of these characters right now. These 4 characters are phenomenal characters. Peacemaker is yet to be seen at his full potential, so this will change, just saying. Now, this next one, I'm going to get a lot of slack for this one because I know people are going to push back and they're going to argue with me, and that's fine. I'm considering this, and this one is probably one of the hardest decisions I've had to make. So I'm going to be real with you. I'm going to go Sinestro and then Hal Jordan. Now, the reason I say Sinestro here, it comes down to the Mr. T team. Sinestro is phenomenal on the Mr. T team. Phenomenal. And he also has his own team. But I'm considering things in chapter 30, and you're getting your characters to rank 10 now. So they have access to that 3rd rank of the leader skill. And let me tell you something about the Mr. T team, because I'm going to talk about Hal and Sinestro together, which is kind of ironic at the same time too. Is that Hal right now, again, Mr. T for me is the best team in the game. It is if you have the right characters, that team literally 4 turns level chapters where you're like at a deficit of like you're taking on teams twice your power level. Hal is one of the best characters on that team. I would actually say he is the best character. Well, one of the best characters on that team. And Sinestro, I think, is the second best character on that team. Sinestro is bringing so much damage. It's insane. But he can get a little blocked by the enemy having a very, very tanky front line. I have found he does struggle a little bit to get through the front line a little bit. But he also will melt them down relatively fast. But in order for him to be at max efficiency, you need a lot of debuffs. Right now on the Mr. T team, you don't get that much access to all of those debuffs that he really needs, because a lot of the debuffs are actually coming from tanks. And so, and also his leader is good. His leader is very good. It's very general leader skill, works on a ton of characters, but it does fall off a little bit at rank 10. He has kind of the Lex Luthor issue. Great character, but his leader skill at rank 2, very good. Lex Luthor leader skill, rank 2, amazing. When you hit rank 3, it doesn't power up the same way like Block and Mr. T and even Green Arrow power up. They power up on a different level. They get access to utility that is not seen in other teams. Just saying. So, because of that, I just don't. Could this change in time? Yeah, it could. I just don't see him right now as being as impactful as Hal. Now, why am I putting Hal at higher? Because of Mr. T. Again, I need to defend this point. This is for the Mr. T team. Because in the context of this game, if a new leader skill comes out, Team Synergy comes out, and it flips everything, then this list completely changes. But Hal does two things in the same ability that puts him above Sinestro for me overall in the context of the game, and why I'm more scared of seeing a Hal than I am of seeing a Sinestro on a Mr. T team, and just why I love having him on these teams. It's his enhanced basic. What it does on a rank 10 Mr. T team is insane. On a rank 10 Mr. T team, Hal will give everybody a shield. They fixed it now, so it does a ton more damage because now it's doing superpower, not physical. And then he cleanses debuffs on himself. On a rank 10 Mr. T, that's 2 separate instances of your characters getting 20% of their missing health back. It's insane damage, gives a shield, and your team is healing because of it. He is freaking insane. My team can't die anymore. Now, not only are they killing the characters in 4 turns, they have like full health when I'm doing it. You cannot underestimate that. You cannot take away from that. Again, I am not talking about these characters in a vacuum. I am talking about them at on their best team with on their best team in the chapter 30 right now. Again, could this change for someone in the 40s and the 50s? Yeah, might be completely different. I'm talking about in the 30s right now, where I'm at. Hal is freaking sane on a rank 10 Mr. T team. He is insane, which brings me to the next character, Mr. T. We cannot talk about characters without talking about the leaders that they bring. I was thinking, oh, well, Mr. T is, his kit's okay. But it's not okay. It's amazing because he brings a team synergy that breaks that is meta defining. And he brings a cleanse. We cannot talk about these characters without talking about their leader skill. And I know people are going to push back and say, well, what about Sinestro? His rank 3 leader team synergy is not that great. I'm sorry. In comparison to other characters, is it bad? No. But it's going to get power crept, y'all. I'm sorry. It's going to get power crept. His rank 3 leader skill is going to get power crept within the next couple months, 6 months. There will be someone better. Just saying. Maybe not 6 months, maybe like 8 months. But you're probably thinking, well, that's a long time away. It is, but just take note of that. I want to be transparent with that. But it is important to note that I think there are just, 3, I think there are better leader skills than that. So that's why, again, Sinestro, great, but he hasn't been pushing. That leader skill is not going to be is not as insane as some other ones. Just, that's why I'm saying this. Mr. T is bringing a cleanse. His damage is whatever, but his passive, where he has an interesting passive where people can't target him and they just go to like a character with the highest HP percentages, and that damage is reduced by 50%. That screws over assassins. I usually will put him in the middle slot on my team because that's where like assassins usually will go after. And then it's like, okay, well, GG's, because that now your assassin just did like half of its normal damage and it went to someone else. It's great. He counters Damian Wayne really hard because Damian now his ult won't like, and that's for PvE content insane. I can literally just put him in the middle slot and Damian doesn't do jack to my team. It's amazing. On top of it, he has a cleanse and he gives all those debuffs to the enemy team. It's nuts when you consider that cleanse on top of what his leader skill is. That's a heal too. He is nuts. His utility is meta defining. He is crazy. He is a crazy character. Okay. Now you're probably thinking, okay, how could someone be better than him? Oh, there's a couple people. And let's talk about my third character, Nightwing. Now, do I think, you know what? I'm sorry, I have to do this. I'm actually going to say I think Nightwing is more important. I don't hold Nightwing in the same regard as Mr. T. Mr. T is meta divine. So is Nightwing. But Mr. T is bringing that team synergy. I cannot discount that team synergy. I'm sorry, I can't. I can't. And when I think about Nightwing, so I'm gonna do on the fly change here. I had this thought out, I had this written down, and I'm just gonna make the change. I had Nightwing originally ahead of Mr. T. I can't do that because of how much Mr. T changes the game. Nightwing, though, is hands down the second best tank in the game. Without a doubt. Second best tank in the game. Dude is a monster. He is one of the best, second best main tank in the game. He is a monster. You cannot go wrong building this character. He is amazing. I cannot praise him enough. He is such a good character. He stays alive. He can tank so many things in the game. He's getting shelter on himself after it's like, dear God, can he be more broken and more tanky? And just, he is a wall. He is the Nokia phone of this game. He is a wall. And he is on the block team. You put him and Blue Beetle in the front with him main tanking, Blue Beetle off tanking. GG's. There ain't any content you can't take on. But there is still one character that does tank better than him. And that is the DCU Superman, especially on the Mr. T team. DCU Superman on Mr. T is not only a wall, he is a healing wall. He is a wall that will just regenerate all the HP. Oh, and then if you do kill him, oh wait, he didn't die, and now he's back to full health again. This character is in freaking sane. On a burn team, he triggers on a burn team, he can trigger 3 burns with 1 ult. That is, and actually with crypto on your team, if you do crypto and then you have him ult, you can set that up. Even on a non-burn team, his first ult he'll do is 3 burns, 3 burn procs. That's huge, which at rank 10 is giving him 15% of his health back. This dude heals so much and takes so little damage. And I don't even know. He's broken. Sorry. He's broken. He does damage when he's tanking because of his ult being single target focused with the burn procs. There's nothing else to say. The dude's straight up broken. That's it. That he is a wall that heals. He is a freaking steel wall that will heal all of his HP back. But there is one character that I think transforms the game more than him. And maybe people are going to push back on this, but I'm sorry. I'm going to have to hard push back. Ocean Master is the best character in this game. He is what I will refer to as the god of the game. He is one of the most synergistic characters and brings one of the best leader team synergies in the freaking game. His rank 3 team synergy is busted. His kit is busted, especially how it works together. He's counterattacking left and right. He's putting weaken on everyone, making them not do as much damage. And then, oh wait, once he's counterattacked everyone a ton of times. They're all sitting with tons of weaken stacks on them, which, mind you, he's on a block team, so your team's already not taking that much damage. There's tons of weaken on the team. They're getting, as they block, they get attack power up. Oh, and now he ults, and now all of those weakened stacks now make that enemy team now have a ton of bleed, and now they're just passively dying on top of it, while your team is also just healing back because of all the AoE. Like, build this character. He's the most broken character in the game. Block team is broken. It is broken. It is straight up broken. It's very free to play friendly. Build this team. You're looking at this list right now. I'm looking at the list, and I like the list. I think this is the top 10 best characters. And people can argue with Peacemaker. Right now, we haven't seen his best team. Will this change? Potentially. Who knows? I do think Judo Master may be on here at some point. I'm just saying that. But I'm waiting again. I like this list. I think this is a good list. People can push back. People will push back. But I am factoring in a lot of different things when I was looking at this list. And this is I'm not lying, guys. I literally had to prep for this for like 3 days. I was just sitting there looking at tier lists, like moving them around. This is actually the third time I made the video. I'm gonna just be real with y'all. If you're watching up to this point, this is the third time I've made this video. Because I really spent a lot of time trying to think through this list. I didn't want to just make a random list and be like, oh, I think this character is good. I wanted to talk through them. I wanted you to be all of us to be on board, like at least understand where I'm coming from. You don't have to be on board with me, but this is where I'm coming from. I'm going to just say, so it goes from 10 up. So Peacemaker, Blue Beetle, Wonder Woman, Deathstroke, Sinestro, Hal, Nightwing, Mr. T, DC Superman, and then Ocean Master. I stand by Ocean Master being the best character in the game. He's doing so freaking much. So much. He is the heart of the block team. He is why the block team works. All these other characters are amazing, but Ocean Master has literally blown me away. He is such an amazing character. Everyone else on this list, guys, if you're building any number of these characters, you're fine. You're doing fine. These characters are all good. Especially like here too, like Hal Jordan versus Sinestro. People are gonna argue 5 and say interchange them. I don't care. Like, you can move these characters like 8, 7, 6, 5. They can move around. I will say this though, Wonder Woman, it just doesn't have a team right now. I know it's, well, what about like a Green Arrow? Yeah, but that team is not doing the same thing that Mr. T and Block Team are doing. I'm sorry, they're not. They're not doing the same things. Block is busted. Mr. T is busted. When we start getting more busted teams, this list will probably be way harder to make. But right now, there are 2 insane teams in the game. Block and Mr. T. Most of these characters fit on those teams. I mean, even Peacemaker works on the block team. You just have him as the off tank. And he does good there. Just put him 4 block, 2 HP, and he's great. Just tank, replace Blue Beetle with Peacemaker on the block team. He works just fine sitting there. If I didn't have Peacemaker before this, I would have summoned for Peacemaker. I'm sorry. If I didn't have Blue Beetle before this, I would have summoned for Peacemaker and just put him on my block team. And he would have been fine. So that's it. That's this list, folks. Argue with me. I know I'm going to get a ton of people disagreeing with me. Totally fine. Please disagree with me. I always like the feedback. And as always, remember, failing is just your first attempt in learning.